what I had to do. They're like, he's great, isn't he? I was like, yeah, he is.
And that was it?
3 words.
Nice.
Yeah.
Truth is, I am Iron Man. Schmuck in the suit is going to take off in a helicopter in 20 minutes, but it's not much I can do for you, but...
Talking about Robert Downey Jr. That dude.
Robert Downey Jr. is one of the most celebrated actors of our time, known not only for his iconic role as Iron Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but also for his extraordinary personal story. His life is a tale of immense talent, devastating downfalls, and one of the greatest comebacks in Hollywood history. Few actors have endured such a public battle with addiction, career collapse, and personal turmoil, only to rise again to greater heights than anyone could have imagined. His journey is not only about stardom, but also about redemption, resilience, and transformation. This is the untold story of Robert Downey Jr.'s comeback. Early life and the seeds of talent. Robert John Downey Jr. was born on April 4th, 1965, in Manhattan, New York, into a family already steeped in the entertainment world. His father, Robert Downey Sr., was an avant-garde filmmaker, and his mother, Elsie Ann Ford, was an actress. Acting was practically in his DNA, and from a very young age, he was immersed in the world of cinema. At just 5 years old, Downey Jr. made his film debut in his father's movie Pound. However, his childhood was not without turbulence. His father introduced him to drugs at an early age, and by the time he was a teenager, Robert was struggling with substance use. Although this environment gave him exposure to Hollywood, it also exposed him to its darker undercurrents. Yet even amidst these struggles, it was clear that Downey Jr. had a rare gift for performance. His charm, wit, and versatility made him stand out, and it was only a matter of time before he began to make a name for himself. The rise of a Hollywood star. In the 1980s, Robert Downey Jr. started gaining attention for his roles in films like Weird Science and Less Than Zero, where he portrayed a drug-addicted rich kid, a role that felt eerily close to his own life. His raw talent made him a natural fit for emotionally complex characters. By the late 1980s, he was cast on Saturday Night Live, though his stint was short-lived. Still, it did not take long for Hollywood to recognize his potential. His breakout came in 1992 when he starred as Charlie Chaplin in Chaplin, a performance that earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. Critics hailed his ability to capture Chaplin's genius, physicality, and humanity. At just 27, Robert Downey Jr. was considered one of the most promising actors of his generation. Yet behind the scenes, his personal struggles with addiction were escalating. Fame brought opportunities, but it also intensified his inner battles. The downward spiral. The 1990s marked both professional success and personal chaos for Robert Downey Jr. He continued to deliver compelling performances in films like Natural Born Killers, Restoration, and U.S. Marshals. But his drug use began to dominate his life. He was arrested multiple times on charges related to cocaine, heroin, and marijuana possession. One of the most infamous incidents occurred in 1996 when he was arrested for speeding while under the influence and later found with drugs and a firearm. A few weeks later, he broke into a neighbor's house while intoxicated and passed out in a child's bed. These shocking events made headlines and painted the image of a brilliant actor spiraling out of control. Downey Jr. was sentenced to time in prison and rehabilitation centers, but relapse seemed inevitable. His career, once so full of promise, started to unravel. Studios considered him unreliable, and directors hesitated to cast him. His insurance costs skyrocketed, making him a financial risk for any production. Hollywood, it seemed, had turned its back on him. The lowest point. By the early 2000s, Robert Downey Jr.'s career was hanging by a thread. He was written out of TV shows, including the hit series Ally McBeal, where he had won a Golden Globe for his role. Despite his immense talent, his addiction overshadowed his artistry. In 2001, he was arrested once again, and the pattern of jail, rehab, and relapse seemed endless. At this point, many believed his career was finished. He was no longer seen as a bankable star, but as a tragic cautionary tale of wasted potential. For Robert himself, it was a period of despair. He later admitted that his addiction had stripped him of everything: his career, relationships, finances, and even his self-respect. The turning point. Every comeback story needs a turning point. And for Robert Downey Jr., that moment came when he finally decided to take control of his life. With the support of his now wife, Susan Levin, whom he met on the set of Gothika in 2003, he began to rebuild. Levin gave him an ultimatum. If he wanted a future with her, he had to get clean. Downey Jr. chose love and life over addiction. Through a combination of therapy, meditation, 12-step programs, martial arts, and a renewed sense of discipline, he started to overcome his demons. Unlike previous attempts, this time he was fully committed. The process was not easy, but slowly he began to regain stability. The road back to Hollywood. Once he began his recovery, Robert Downey Jr. faced another challenge, convincing Hollywood to give him a second chance. His reputation made producers wary, but his talent was undeniable. Mel Gibson, a longtime friend, was one of the first to advocate for him, personally paying for Downey Jr.'s insurance bond to cast him in The Singing Detective. As he proved his reliability, more opportunities followed. He appeared in films like Kiss, Kiss, Bang, Bang, 2005, which showcased his sharp comedic timing, and Zodiac, 2007, where his performance was widely praised. Hollywood began to take notice once again, and it seemed Robert Downey Jr. was ready for something big.
Okay.
Yeah, it does something, but you don't go like, oh my God, I'd like to take 300 of those. It just kind of takes the edge off, and it worked a treat.
Is it good to take the edge off?
Becoming Iron Man, the ultimate comeback. In 2008, everything changed. Marvel Studios took a gamble by casting Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark in Iron Man. At the time, Marvel was not the juggernaut it would later become, and many doubted whether the film would succeed. Casting Downey Jr. was considered risky due to his past, but director Jon Favreau believed he was perfect for the role. That gamble paid off in ways no one could have predicted. Iron Man became a massive success, launching the Marvel Cinematic Universe and transforming Robert Downey Jr. into one of the biggest stars in the world. His portrayal of Tony Stark, charismatic, flawed, witty, and heroic, resonated with audiences worldwide. In many ways, Tony Stark's story mirrored Robert's own, a man with a troubled past who found redemption and purpose. This role not only revived his career, but redefined it. He went on to star in multiple Marvel films, becoming the face of the franchise and one of the highest-paid actors in Hollywood. His journey from rock bottom to superhero was complete.
Strategy in any of this?
I believe I do. Let me backtrack and just say that if you'd asked me in 2008, 9, 10 how I felt about it, I would say that I was the Atlas of the Marvel Universe. I was holding
Life beyond Marvel. While Iron Man defined his career comeback, Robert Downey Jr. also proved his range in other films. He starred in Sherlock Holmes, 2009, which earned him a Golden Globe Award and its sequel. He continued to work on passion projects, building a reputation not only as a movie star, but as a producer and creative force. His marriage to Susan Levin also provided him with stability and partnership. Together, they launched a production company, Team Downey, further cementing his influence in Hollywood. His family life, including his role as a father, gave him balance and a sense of purpose beyond the screen.
I'd say it's 70% maintenance of what can I do to do my part to stay out of the way. And then the other part, I always think of it as like this little super thin.
The legacy of his comeback. Robert Downey Jr.'s story is not just about success, it is about resilience and transformation. He went from being a cautionary tale of wasted talent to a symbol of redemption. His comeback showed that even the deepest struggles can be overcome with determination, support, and self-awareness. For Hollywood, his story became an inspiration, proving that people can change and rebuild their lives, no matter how far they have fallen. For fans, he became a hero both on and off screen, embodying the belief that it is never too late to turn your life around. The untold story of Robert Downey Jr.'s comeback is a powerful reminder of the human spirit's capacity for change. From a young boy exposed to drugs, to a Hollywood star battling addiction, to a man who rose from rock bottom to become Iron Man, his journey is one of the most remarkable in entertainment history. Fame and fortune nearly destroyed him, but his determination to rise above his struggles made him stronger. Today, Robert Downey Jr. stands not only as a Hollywood icon, but as a symbol of redemption, resilience, and the power of second chances. His life teaches us that no matter how broken things may seem, transformation is always possible. Robert Downey Jr. is living proof that even when the world counts you out, you can still write a new story, and that story can be greater than you ever imagined.